Daddy, the mail lady always smiles at you. The little girl's voice was soft, playful, but what she did next would change everything. Mark froze mid-step, his hand still on the front door. He turned slowly, looking down at his 5-year-old daughter, Lily, whose bright eyes sparkled with mischief and curiosity. She stood there hugging her stuffed bunny, her head tilted as if she had just uncovered the world's sweetest secret. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" Mark asked, forcing a small smile. Lily giggled, covering her mouth. "She smiles at you, like in the cartoons. You know, when the princess sees the prince." Mark let out an awkward laugh, brushing it off. "I think you're imagining things." But Lily shook her head seriously this time. "No, Daddy, I'm not." And before he could say another word, the doorbell rang. Mark's heart skipped. It was her, Emily, the mail carrier who had been delivering to their house for nearly a year now. Always kind, always warm, always smiling. He opened the door, trying to act normal. "Good morning, Mark," Emily said, her usual gentle smile lighting up her face. "Got a package for you today." There it was again, that smile. Not just polite, not just friendly, but something softer, deeper. Mark felt it, but he always ignored it. "Thanks, Emily," he replied, taking the box. Behind him, Lily peeked out from his side, watching closely, observing everything. Emily noticed her and waved. "Hey, Lily, how's my favorite little helper today?" "I'm good," Lily replied sweetly, but then her expression changed. She stepped forward. Mark didn't realize what was about to happen. "Do you like my daddy?" Lily asked innocently. Silence. Mark nearly dropped the package. "Lily," he whispered urgently, his face turning red. Emily blinked, caught off guard, then let out a small, nervous laugh. "Well, your dad is very nice." But Lily wasn't done. "Because I think you should marry him." Mark's heart stopped. "Lily." But it was too late. The words were already out. The air felt heavy, filled with embarrassment, surprise, and something else neither of them could quite name. Emily looked at Mark, her cheeks slightly flushed. Mark looked back, completely speechless. And Lily. She just smiled, like she had just solved a problem the adults were too scared to face. That night, Mark couldn't stop thinking about what happened. Not just the embarrassment, but the truth behind it. He sat on the couch after putting Lily to bed, staring at the quiet room. It had been 3 years since his wife passed away. 3 long, painful years of learning how to be both mother and father. Of hiding his tears so Lily wouldn't see. Of pretending he was okay, even when he wasn't. Love, that felt like something from another life. Something he wasn't allowed to have anymore. But then, there was Emily. Her kindness, her patience, the way she always asked about Lily. The way she remembered little things. And yes, the way she smiled. Mark sighed deeply, running a hand through his hair. "Am I really ready for this?" he whispered to himself. The next few days were different. Every time Emily came by, things felt slightly awkward, but also warmer. They talked a little longer. Laughed a little more. Lily, of course, made sure of that. "Daddy, ask her to stay for juice." "Daddy, tell her about my drawing." "Daddy, she likes you, I know it." Mark didn't know whether to laugh or hide. But slowly, something inside him started to shift. One afternoon, as Emily handed him the mail, she hesitated. "Hey, about what Lily said the other day." Mark rubbed the back of his neck. "Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Kids, you know." Emily smiled softly. "You don't have to apologize." He looked at her, surprised. "She's honest," Emily continued. "Sometimes, more honest than we allow ourselves to be." Mark didn't know what to say. So she said it for him. "Would you, maybe like to grab coffee sometime?" There it was. Simple. Genuine. Real. Mark felt his heart race, not with fear this time, but something he hadn't felt in years. "Hope. I'd like that," he said quietly. And just like that, everything began to change. Their first coffee turned into walks. Walks turned into dinners. Dinners turned into laughter, filling a home that had been quiet for too long. Lily adored Emily. Not just because she had picked her for daddy, but because Emily truly cared. She braided Lily's hair, helped her with homework, listened to her stories like they were the most important thing in the world. And for Mark, Emily didn't try to replace what was lost. She simply brought light where there had been darkness. Months passed. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink, Mark stood in the backyard with Lily. "Daddy," Lily said, holding his hand, "are you happy?" Mark looked down at her, his eyes soft. "Yeah, I think I am." Lily smiled proudly. "I told you." Mark chuckled. "You did, didn't you?" Then Emily stepped outside, calling them in for dinner. Lily suddenly tugged his hand. "Daddy, do it now." "Do what?" Mark asked, confused. But Lily just pointed toward Emily, and whispered, "Don't wait too long." And in that moment, Mark understood. He walked toward Emily, his heart pounding. "Hey," he said gently. She looked up. "Yeah." Mark took a deep breath. "You've made our lives better, more than you know." Emily's eyes softened. "And I was wondering, if you'd want to make it official." She blinked. "Official?" Mark smiled nervously. "Stay with us. As a family." Tears filled Emily's eyes. "Yes," she whispered. From behind them, Lily squealed with joy and ran into their arms. And as they stood there, holding each other, something beautiful happened. A broken family became whole again. Not by replacing the past, but by embracing the future. So if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love can find you even after the darkest moments, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Because sometimes, the smallest voices, like a little girl's giggle, can lead to the biggest miracles.